In iOS 11, Apple has enhanced Live Photos, the feature that lets you shoot photos that are essentially short videos, letting you or anyone with a compatible device with whom you share these photos to see a few seconds before and after the shot was taken. Now, shooting live photos works the same way as in previous versions of iOS, but Apple has added features that enhance the way live photos can be viewed and played back in iOS 11. If you go into your Photos app, you'll find an automatically created album called Live Photos, containing all of your live photos. And as before, you can play back a live photo by selecting it and then holding down on the screen. To edit a live photo, or any photo for that matter, we now have a button in the upper right-hand corner that's clearly labeled Edit instead of just having an editing symbol at the bottom of the screen. We can tap that to go into editing mode. Now, even though Live Photos captures a few seconds of action, the photos that you actually see in your camera roll won't necessarily represent the photo as well as some of the other frames you might have captured. Maybe the first frame of the live photo is blurry because you were moving your phone into place, but you actually did get a good shot. Well, now in iOS 11, you can manually select the keyframe for your live photos simply by swiping your finger along the scrubber bar here at the bottom, and then selecting the frame that best represents the photo to you. Once you find the one you like, tap Make Key Photo, and then if I tap Done, that's now the keyframe or thumbnail for this photo. Let's select another one here. iOS 11 also adds new motion effects to live photos. Just swipe up on the photo from here to reveal the effects. There's the regular live photo playback, which is the default, which again lets you just hold down on the photo to see the motion. We have Loop, which plays the live photo in a continuous loop from the beginning to the end and back to the beginning. Notice I even get an alert here telling me this would look great as a long exposure, but we'll be getting to that in just a second. I'll close that. We also have Bounce, which plays the clip forwards and then plays it backwards, as you can see there. And the last one here is Long Exposure. And this creates a still image by blending the frames together. And this can create some pretty cool motion effects. For example, if you captured headlights from a car driving down a road at night, or water flowing in a creek like we have here. We get this nice blending effect now. With the long exposure effect, you can also hold down on the image to see the motion again. And when I release my finger from the screen, we can again see the long exposure. Now, whenever you use any of these animation effects, they'll also be added to automatically created folders. For example, I'm going to add the loop and bounce effect to two other images here. So I'll choose loop there, and we can see that effect, and I'll choose bounce here. And we can see that effect. So now when I go back to the album view, notice we now have a long exposures album containing the long exposure photo. And we also have an album called Animated, which contains the live images that have the loop and bounce effect applied to them. And again, it tells me this would look good to see it as a loop. I'll just turn that off. I'll just close that. So it makes it very easy to find the live photos you've applied these effects to. Personally, I never used live photos that much in iOS 10, but I think these new motion effects, especially long exposure, will be a lot of fun to play around with. Be sure to check them out yourself.